let's bring in Chris Vannini from The Athletic, who joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Friend of the program, returnee to the show. Chris, great to have you back on BYU Sports Nation.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
Life is obviously very good for BYU football fans right now. Top 10 for the first time since 2009, 7-0, and approaching one of the biggest games that they have played literally in decades. You wrote an article this morning and are asking coaches about BYU and their impressions of them. And in response, you got a statement from a San Diego State fan who said, I don't know who to root for, Boise State or BYU, because they both make me want to vomit. Chris, who does this game matter more to right now?
Well, I had a mailbag at the end of my story, and San Diego State fans aren't quite sure who to root for because they play BYU at the end of the season, but Boise State's in their conference. So it's always that really tough spot for a sports fan is, your two enemies are playing each other. Which one do you root for? And I think San Diego State should be rooting for BYU here because BYU is on the schedule. San Diego State doesn't play Boise State unless they meet in the conference championship game. So if BYU wins this game, they're guaranteed top 10, obviously going into that San Diego State game. So if I'm San Diego State, I'm rooting for BYU, and obviously if I'm BYU, I'm rooting for BYU.
And we'll talk about Boise State, of course, but let's talk about San Diego State for a sec. So 2 blowout wins in the first 2 weeks. ESPN's FPI has them favored to win the rest of the way until BYU. Is that going to be a better game than we thought on December 12th in Provo?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first year with Brady Hoke back at the helm. They've got 2 comfortable wins, like you said. And their offense, the offense has been the problem with them for a number of years, but they've scored, last year they didn't score more than 31 points in a game until the bowl game. They've passed that mark twice in 2 games now. They're averaging, I think, 7 yards a carry. I don't think they've thrown an interception yet. And defense remains, so far, looks like one of the best in the country once again. So San Diego State looks like a team 2 games in that is going to be contending for another Mountain West championship.
Chris, speaking of your article once again, a lot of commentary coming from the opponents. What was the most eye-opening thing that you received in those comments from BYU opponents?
Yeah, so I talked to Jake Spavital, the head coach at Texas State, Ken Niumatalolo, the head coach at Navy, and Jeff Traylor, the head coach at UTSA. And I basically want to say, as someone who has played BYU, how do you look at this team? Are they for real? What did they do well? What did they do better than what you expected? And the quote that stuck out for me of the many that are in the story, the one that stuck out to me was Spavital saying, they make you screw the game up. And what he meant by that was BYU plays a lot of zone defense. They keep it all in front of you. They don't give up big plays. They're only giving up, I think, 1.1 plays of 30-plus yards, which is like 3rd best among teams that have played multiple games. So they are not giving up the big plays, and that's what Spavital meant. To move down the field against the BYU defense, you got to make a lot of short plays. And BYU, like you said, they make you screw the game up. So that, I think, really stuck out for me in terms of an opposing coach evaluating how BYU plays.
Yeah, a lot of great commentary in that. You should check it out if you haven't, BYU fans. It's really good. BYU's offensive line has certainly had its way, and the defense has done a nice job as well. And now BYU matches up with Boise State. We've been talking about, just massive game, right? And I said earlier this week, Chris, that if Boise State had played this schedule, I think they'd be sitting at 7-0, ranked 9th. So I think it's a good matchup and fight. I think if this were a boxing match, we'd be stoked, right? And we are stoked about it. But what do you think of the Broncos versus the Cougars Friday night for, let's call it's just the Western non-Power 5 championship game?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the Mountain West for letting this game happen. Obviously, Boise State's only playing 7 Mountain West games, while most everybody except Air Force is going to play 8. So the Mountain West let this game happen, and I think it's good for the schools. It's good for college football. So I'm really glad it's happening. And yeah, I mean, this is a game. It's a rivalry. They've played, a number of years. They're going to keep playing in the future. Boise State, they've been so good for so long. Obviously, BYU is trying to get back. Friday night games can sometimes be frustrating for the teams involved, especially this week when they had election day off. But I like that it's getting a national spotlight without anything else interfering with it, because it should be a great game. Boise State's got some questions in terms of injuries and who's available, but I think this is really going to be a heavyweight fight, just like you said.
Chris Vannini, college football insider, expert, and writer for The Athletic, with us on BYU Sports Nation. Every BYU fan wants to know, what's the end game for BYU if they win out? They beat Boise State, take care of business against North Alabama, and then beat San Diego State in December and finish 10-0. What's the realistic ceiling for this BYU team? Is it a New Year's Six lock, Chris, or is it a college football playoff spot, getting in through the back door at number 4?
If they win out, I think there's a really good chance they make the New Year's Six as an at-large. There's a group of 5 automatic qualifying spot among that group that BYU is not eligible for because they're an independent. But I do think it'd be 9-0? 10-0. I think BYU should feel pretty good about making New Year's Six to that spot. I don't see the playoff happening. They need a lot to break their way. I mean, it helps that Oklahoma State in the Big 12, there's nobody undefeated left in the Big 12. Basically, BYU and Cincinnati, if they want to try to make that case, they need Alabama to win out and eliminate everybody else in the SEC. Hope Texas A&M drops a game as well, probably against Auburn. You need Clemson to win out, knock out the ACC, knock out Notre Dame, and you want Ohio State to win out and knock out everybody else in the Big 10. Because Big 12 doesn't have an undefeated team. Pac-12 is only going to be playing 6-7 games, and who knows how that's going to go. So a lot of things need to happen. I think it's really an outside shot, but I do think undefeated puts you in the New Year's Six. And if you win that and go undefeated, I said it last time I was on the show, if BYU's 11-0, I mean, I'm on board with anybody claiming a national championship in that situation. So, go wild.
Hey, I'm going to put on the blue goggles for that one. I love that. I love that. A little UCF 2017 action going on, right? Let's address this. So Cincinnati as the best group of 5 right now, tremendous defense, tremendous team, right? Ranked number 6 in the AP poll. In order for BYU to get into the New Year's Six, do you think that there can be 2 non-power 5s in that? Like, technically, yes, but do you think that will be a little crowded and that BYU may be rooting for Cincinnati to lose to at least kind of get out of the way of the non-power 5 good teams? Or does that matter at all?
Well, it's not going to matter because the group of 5, no matter who it is, has a guaranteed spot in the New Year's Six Bowl. I think it's the Peach Bowl this year. So if it was Cincinnati, if it was Boise State, if it was Coastal Carolina or whoever is the highest ranked group of 5 champion automatically gets a New Year's Six spot. BYU has to get an at-large berth, like a number of teams get New Year's Six berth. So I don't think Cincinnati really is going to impact BYU in that sense. The only way they conflict with each other is the potential playoff spot like I laid out, but I think that's kind of a long shot anyway. But in terms of New Year's Six, Cincinnati or whoever from the group of 5 is automatically getting a spot. So BYU is not really impacted by that.
A columnist in West Virginia that covers Marshall football proposed that BYU and Marshall playing on November 28th would be a, quote, perfect matchup. What do you think of that idea of Marshall, another team in that group of 5 New Year's Six access hunt, taking on BYU, who's a top 10 team?
I love it. Marshall's 5-0. They look quite good, and they've had a number of games get canceled and moved around because of everything going on. I think they only have 3 or 4 games left. They're playing a pretty short schedule, and I know Marshall wanted to get some opponents, but now that they're pretty good, nobody in the Power 5 wants to play them. So, I mean, as a fan, I would love BYU Marshall. I'd absolutely love a matchup like that. If I'm BYU, I'm maybe not so sure because if you win these final 3 games, like I said, you're probably pretty set for a New Year's Six spot. So adding another game might hurt those chances, another opportunity for a loss. That's just kind of playing with the system. Personally, I think it'd be an awesome game, and I would love to see it.
Yeah, we've been talking about the pros and cons of that, the risk-reward of would BYU need it? Because if they don't need it, you should not play that game. But maybe they need it. I don't know. But it all kind of comes down to Friday. And should we be thinking about Boise State a little more in this conversation? Right now it's like Cincy and everyone's just kind of Cincy only. If Boise State beats BYU and then they run the table, and then Cincy loses and Marshall loses and
Coastal Carolina.
Is Coastal Carolina really going to be the team? I mean, that's pretty awesome for them, the Chanticleers. Where does Boise State fit in all this conversation?
Yeah, we haven't talked about Boise State because they've only played 2 games. And if you beat a top 10 BYU team, that's immediately going to throw you up into the top 20 in the polls, maybe get close to the top 15, and off you go. So, yeah, we're not talking about Boise State because they haven't played, but they absolutely will have a chance with, there's a chance that you could have a lot of, like last year, have a lot of Group of 5 teams competing for that Group of 5 spot. Coastal Carolina still has to play Appalachian State. They still have the Sun Belt Championship. Marshall, there's not a ton of competition in Conference USA. Maybe they run the table. Maybe Cincinnati does. Maybe Cincinnati doesn't. And then Boise State went undefeated in the Mountain West last year. First year they ever did that. So, yeah, Boise State's definitely in that conversation. It's just like with a lot of these things, the Big Ten came back 2 weeks ago, and they got all the attention for coming back. Nobody really realized the Mountain West came back. And now you throw the Pac-12 in coming back this weekend. The Mountain West is going to kind of get lost in the shuffle again. But if Boise State wins, that's a statement victory, and they're right back in the hunt, I think.
Chris, we always enjoy your coverage. You do a fantastic job. For those BYU fans that want to read the article and hear what coaches or read what coaches have to say about BYU, how do they find it?
Just theathletic.com, go to the college football section, and it's right there near the front of the page.
Chris Vannini, give him a follow, read his stuff. Thanks, Chris.
Yep, thanks, guys.